So semi-finals of the National League playoffs are here now, coming up this Sunday. So first off, the games we had midweek, the playoff eliminators for the National League. We saw Scunthorpe take on Southend. These are one-legged ties. The team that finishes higher obviously gets the home tie. So Southend gone away to Scunthorpe there in that one. Not much between them in the league at all this season. Scunthorpe finished in 5th. And sixth obviously for Southend. So Scunthorpe started the season very well. After their promotion, thought they started very well. And there's a lot of expectation on them this season. They'll hit the ground running after coming up from the back up from the National League North through the playoff as well. So they've gone up through this route before. They've got that experience. But Southend have got experience in this playoff, and they've done very well in it last season in making the final. We're very unlucky in that, and I think that's why I went for the Southend win. I said a 2-2, and I said Southend in extra time. So I was wrong with my prediction there. Game went completely different to that, and a lot of people went for a Southend win there. Maybe I should have read more into the fact that Scunthorpe done the double over Southend this season. I just didn't think that would count for as much when it got to the playoff. Because both of them got good playoff experience, but with Southend having it at this level, I thought that would really come to good use for them. But not so much at all. We see Scunthorpe take the lead very early in the game, 5 minutes in, and then that's enough from there for them to keep it tight and keep the get over the line for the whole game. Keep the good defensive performance, I think as well. To be able to get that. So that means they go to second place Rochdale away in the semi-final at the weekend, which Rochdale so unlucky to miss out on that final day there. Incredible scenes against York, but it is what it is now. They've had the week to recover, to prepare for this playoff game, massive playoff game as well against Scunthorpe. Two very similar sides. It's, teams that have spent years in the football league sides, and come down. Scunthorpe went down the year before Rochdale, and both of them have had some very, very tough years after very long spells in the football league. Scunthorpe were there for, I think it was 62 years, and Rochdale for like 102 or something like that. They've football league sides for years, and so then coming down was a real shock. And it's a chance for both of them here to get back up, and I think it's going to be an exciting game. Because I think both of them on their day can be very hard to beat. They've proven that this season, but they also have got goals in them as well, for sure. Callum Roberts obviously got the goal for the decisive goal early on for Scunthorpe the other day, and he's scoring quite a few goals this season. He's scored a lot of goals. He's one of the highest performing, highest scorers in this league. 18 goals, I believe he's got this season. So impressive return for him. I think with Rochdale, we know the threat they've got. We saw the game on last Saturday, the incredible final day. It looked like they took the chance of getting into that to the Football League, but obviously a few minutes later York equalised. So incredible stuff there. They have to pick themselves up. They have to go again though. They'll have the home advantage here. Scunthorpe, the home advantage works in their favour against Southend, and Southend couldn't get back into it, which I was surprised about, because they usually are good at coming from behind. In the playoffs last year, they scored a lot of goals, and quite often these playoff games are very high scoring, with them only being one-legged. Both teams really go at it, but only 1-0 in those eliminators. We'll talk about the other game in a minute. I think it could open up a bit here, though. I think there's two teams that I think could really go for it, and I think between these two in particular, I think this could be a really exciting but really close game. This Rochdale-Scunthorpe game, I think, could be a high-scoring one, and I think it could be a case of them outscoring each other, in my opinion. So, like I say, impressed with both teams. I think both teams have got a lot of quality, and I think it's a game that home advantage could be key, and with Rochdale being at home, it could be very important for them. So I'm going to go for a 3-2 win at home there for Rochdale, and I think it's going to be a very, very good, exciting game. But I think Rochdale get it over the line there and make it to Wembley. Yes, that's what I'm going for the first game. As for the other playoff eliminator game we saw midweek, we saw Boreham Wood play at home to Forest Green. Now, Forest Green have had a bit of an up and down season. They sort of fallen short in the title race in the end. But, and when Robbie Savage come in, he done well, I think, at steadying the ship, at keeping their sort of momentum going towards into the second half of the season, the title race was probably a bit out of reach, but, he was able to keep hold of that playoff place, but he didn't finish on the best of form. And it sort of went that way with the other two as well. Like Scunthorpe started better, Southend didn't, Southend really got going at the end of the season, but they both sort of finished on decent enough form, whereas Forest Green, not great form towards the end of the season. The few wins, enough to secure that 7th place, but probably out of all of them was on the weakest form coming into this, and I did wonder if that would come into effect. I thought it was always going to be a close game, though, away at Boreham Wood. I went for a 2-1 Boreham Wood win with them being at home. Boreham Wood, impressive this season, also come up last season through the National League South playoff, come back up, and they're a team that's been in the that spent a lot of years in the National League, a lot of years in the playoffs where they got close to coming up but couldn't do it, and maybe this could be their year, we'll see. But they come straight back up from the National League South last year, and for this season they get the ground running straight away. They performed really well. At one point they was in the title race, and they managed to produce a season where they got up to 90 points, which is a very, very impressive return. And let's actually just talk about the points at the top of the National League. Really, really high points tallies from everyone this season. I think Forest Green got, I think it was 80 points or 81 or something, and 81 and 82 for Scunthorpe and Southend. So they're high points tallies as well. And we see Carlisle and Third gets 95 points. That can win you the league in some seasons. 90 points for Boreham Wood's a really good return as well, but they even missed out on the top two. They pushed top three. They pushed Carlisle a lot of the far, but to get 90 points and finish 4th, I mean, it shows you the level that this league's risen to, which is why they really probably need to look at 3 teams going up, 2 automatic places. But so they missed out on the bye to the semi-final, Boreham Wood, but they got the home tie, which they made use of in that playoff eliminator. And we see the level in this league, as we see the points tallies. The top 2 got both plus 100 points, one of them not certain to go up. So Boreham Wood, another 1-0 home win, but complete opposite to how the other game went. It took an extra time goal to win that one. It was very tight the whole game. From what I could see, it looked like there was chances both ends, but nothing going in. It was a case of and the more and more it went on, you thought it's going to be a 1-0 game. It's going to be a 1-goal winner, like the other game, but just much later on, and it ended up going to extra time. And there was a period where you're thinking maybe a penalty shootout could be on the cards here, but not in the end. They got the goal just on the edge of half-time of extra time, Boreham Wood, and from there, throughout the second half of extra time, were able to hold on, get the 1-0 home win, progress to the semi-final, which is massive, knocking Forest Green out and progressing themselves. So they go away to Carlisle, Mark Hughes' Carlisle, a team that have impressed this season, but maybe gone under the radar a bit. They've been very consistent and very, very good the whole season, but just fallen short of the ridiculously good consistency that the top 2 have shown. So Carlisle, home to Boreham Wood, both of the home sides makes it through as well in the eliminators. That quite often goes the other way. There's quite often a few twists. It's one of the teams that goes away from home wins, but not on this occasion. Will we see who will we see make the final here? I think it's going to be a very, very close game. Out of the 2 of them, this I think is really, really hard to predict. I think it's going to be a very, very tight game. I think it's going to be very, very close. So for a prediction, it's a very hard one to call. I'm going for 1-1, and I think all the way to penalties, and I'm going to go for a Carlisle penalty win, but I think it's going to be very, very close. So I'm going for a Rochdale-Carlisle final, but it's going to be incredibly close, and I'm really looking forward to seeing how these games pan out, because they're usually very, very entertaining.